Hey guys. So it's me, the what did oh, the Dame's Mistress, DM for Dames at Heart. It is Sunday, and so I'm getting ready to um play for tomorrow night, prepping my session. And as all of you longtime GM DMs know, and the new coming GM DMs should know, it's only fair. Um, there's a lot to keep track of when you're running a campaign, any kind of TTRPG. However, I'm running Daggerheart right now. So, um, I had promised you guys that I would share what it is I do to keep organized the locations, NPCs, coin, all of that. And I will say, I do not personally monitor hit points and all of that. I am giving that agency and that trust to my players. Um, so I'm not tracking that. However, there is a lot that I need to track. And to that point, let me show you my main source. It is this. Um, I am a huge fan of OneNote. Huge, huge, huge. And because it allows me to track things this way. So, what you're going to see here is, let me move myself over here, um, is that I have this general notebook. I also have other notebooks, and those are for me, not you. But it definitely helps me stay organized. So it started as D&D, and I have all kinds of stuff in here. Um, all tabbed out. And I will say too, it's not perfect. I kind of have a process which I will share with you. So when I am online, I am a Android user. So when I open my phone and I will do a Google update thing, maybe I will. I did the
If
wrong.
you have a speaker smart display connected to the internet, it will automatically download and install available updates.
Hot tip. So when I use that, I get this automated feed and it has all kinds of stuff, whatever. Eventually, I will get, there we go. Something about Daggerheart or um, Daggerheart, TTRPGs, Critical Role. There's got to be some Brennan Lee Mulligan in here somewhere. But when I find those, oh, those are gorgeous. Sorry, I get distracted by shinies. But when I find something like I'm not doing now, apparently, I don't want to do that. Let's see. Taylor Swift stuff though. Um, no. Let's see. Okay, cool. So Critical Role, and I have a little, so I got to this by these little 3 buttons here, 3 buttons, and then I can share it. And when I share, one of my options is OneNote. When I put it in OneNote, it goes to, and it's, oh, yep, nope, it's right there. Sticky notes. I did not tag that one, but it puts it in here. And then my general process is that when I start planning, I will go through my sticky notes and put things into my org situation. So, early on when I was learning to be a GM, I did a lot of reading, and you're going to see clipped from. These are things that I did exactly that. I did a Google search for GMing tips, all of that. And so it would give me the things. I've got, here we go. How a professional dungeon master keeps his games fun, how to be a better DM from CBR. And then if I like those, I will then put those into resources. So in here, and I'm going to open this up bigger. This is, again, from D&D, but I was new. Didn't know. So what I did is I kept track of the order of combat. And this was something that I wanted to refer to often, right? So I went in and I highlighted these things. Okay, when it's my turn, what can I do? What are these bonus actions? So I kept this as I won't say hot tip, but absolutely something that I was able to reference. And I do this on my computer. My GM screen is my computer. So I had that at the ready. Character worksheet from when we were building characters, all kinds of other stuff. So then once you've built characters, um, so this actually was character creation for my campaign. However, NPCs have to be built and they also have to be tracked. So actually, and unfortunately you weren't able to see our game on Monday because I'm still trying to figure out how all of this runs. And my producer, I sent him a text and said, yo, help. And he was like, yeah, sure, be there in a minute. Peace. Never showed up. So he's not fired because he's my son, but whatever. So I have all of these different things personally. So I have too many dachshunds that I'm staring at right now, and they are very lazy. So one thing I loved was the pan dachshund. And look at that little magnificent. Let's see, he's a hunter. Oh, and he's a pointer. I love that. So, but yes, so he's a free dog. I love this. Loved this. Would be one of my characters, maybe. And so if I want to keep him, I've got it here, but here's the problem. So again, you didn't get to see the game on Monday, but I needed NPCs. And when you're running a game, there's a lot that is happening, right? And so it's like, so you walk up and you see insert name here. You don't have names. So I went and got myself some names. Tip, when I got this, it will tell you if you're using OneNote where you got this from. And so I kept this NPC generator. I am continuing to use that. Now I will say too, these are D&D characters. So I am having to very quickly in game, anyway, I'm very quickly adding the conversion while we're in game. So this one, let's see, she's a human monk, love her. Ability scores, obviously those are going to be different. Strength, dexterity, constitution, intellect, wisdom, charisma. If you are playing Daggerheart and you're like, huh? Because those are D&D. So, but I love that it's got who very quickly, their appearance, their age, their whatever, and a couple of distinguishing features. That's really cool. So goes out at night secretly looking for coin. Sounds like she's roaming. Anywho, so I was doing that this week. And like I said, unfortunately you didn't get to see it, but I pulled up very quickly. I was like, okay, like clicking through these, and will this character fit this? So we were talking about members of the Ivory Quill Guild. Ooh, that's gonna, yeah. Anyway, the members of the Ivory Quill Guild. And so these are members of the, no, she's not, she's actually resisting. She's in the resistance. So being a female human soldier, that's kind of badass and it absolutely fits the narrative. So what I did is I made this little tab, and so I can quickly see when I open her, she is of the resistance. And let's see, who did I have? Emmeline is from Inside the Wall. This was something too that I will explain here. In the campaign, the Ivory Quill Guild is the one who is holding Iron Bay. And when the Ivory Quill Guild, say that 5 times real fast, came in, they built a wall around Iron Bay, and they built another wall inside Iron Bay for the aristocracy. And so Emmeline is inside the inside wall. So I have that. But when I'm just looking at this list, how do I know, right? So, and there's another peddler Ofen. Don't know yet. He hasn't been assigned. Quanlin has been. And so what I did is back up here in my main tab, right here, just, right in my main tab. Colin, I appreciate you. Oh, actually, I think there we go. I broke these characters down, put them into campaign 1.5. And so it's here. And I made an Excel spreadsheet. Now, let me say here, let's get serious here, friends. All right, not that one. This one. Kids, the Dame's Master is an English major. She reads a lot, has a big creative area in her head. However, she also likes and needs logic because ADHD. And so, hey, and you're hearing it, I like Excel, right? Oh my God. Like, creative people, writers don't do Excel. And caveat, while I do like Excel, I am not like the form function. I had to learn what concatenate means. I'm sure I could like it more, but for organization, I'm all there. And if you're starting to notice that our campaign is about logic and magic, that's the intersection of my enigma. I am very logical, but I have a lot of magic in me too. So I did this wonderful spreadsheet, and in it, let's see, I'll pull this up. I have tabs. So we are in Iron Bay. And so I have my characters in here. And obviously I need to build this out, but I was like, you know what? I'm doing this. Let me go ahead and throw these people in while I'm showing you guys what I'm doing, because this is real time. So I have these characters, and where did I get this information? From the character list. Jacqueline Cartwright. Like I said, here we go. She is a human soldier. Boom. 38 years old. Now, unfortunately, because of the way this copied over, I had to type this, let's see, okay. This stuff out. Sucks. But you know what? It is what it is. You can't have it all yet. And then because too, even looking at this whole list of names, classes, what I need to know sometimes is what part of the world are they? And so to make this visual and so I can quickly go, okay, who's my NPC? Then I have yellow for NPCs. Who's part of the Ivory Quill? Part of the Ivory Quill, they're going to be blue. Iron Bay Resistance is orange. And actually, I don't know if I can do this. Yeah, no, I can't. But I want those to be light orange. And I will tell you why I do light. Like, okay, so I could do this like a brighter orange. That's a little too dark. Okay, and yes, I do user experience, but that's a little too dark. That's not bad, honestly, but I like this softer orange. Yellow is the one that really gets me. Like, why do I need to fry my retinas, especially while I'm sitting running a game for 3 people and the internet? So keeping it soft. So there is that. And so how does this look? I had a couple more. If we go back to, let's see, let's put my NPC generator on top, close this. Caesar, there was Ulrich, was he? Yes. So Ulrich, I have not yet added to my list of people. So let's do that again, since I'm doing this in real time. So I'm coming over to Ulrich, and I know you don't see this, but well, maybe actually you do. So I'm going to copy him. I'm also a big fan of copy paste, and I want this to be the same size. So I'm just going to do that. Now here's what actually in here, Human Explorer. Cool. So we're going to do, he is a human explorer. I'm not going to worry about his description for right now, but I have him marked as part of the resistance. So I can go, actually, if you know your screen shortcuts, and I hope you do because they are really helpful. Control D. What? Okay. Well, nope, it's not going to do that. So Control D. There we go. So now I've got him again. So when I'm ready to find a member of the resistance, I've got all these peeps and I can go, cool. Okay, I've got Selwyn and I can throw him here. I might actually put something in, I am going to in play because Ulrich actually is not in play yet. Selwyn is, so, and okay, so y'all, I'm gonna really, I shouldn't say blow your mind, but I'm gonna show you how to use Excel. So in play, I'm gonna do data, and I want to do this one here. It's data validation. All I need to know is a yes or a no, right? So we're gonna do data validation. We're gonna make this a list, and the list is simply yes or no. Seriously, no. Okay, so now you see this little check. This is going to be an error. However, woo, Deputy Rennan, he is in play. Jacqueline Cartwright, she is in play. Yes. So we can make that very easy. And so now when I throw Ulrich in, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to have him as a no, but I can very quickly, all right, so you meet Ulrich Ashgrade. He is a human explorer. He's young. I remember that he's 14. And all of a sudden I just flip that to yes. And now he's in play. All kinds of other cool things you can do as far as sorting. However, also regarding sorting, overall campaign I put in here. And so I did our players, obviously. And then Princess Bella Rose is actually one of the original 3 in our party. And she unfortunately has not been able to play with us yet, but there's still room at the table for her. But she is one of our characters. Technically, I could pull Ulrich and put him in here, say he's not part of the resistance, and so he therefore does not get color yet. So I can go in, and I probably will go in, and all of these, there we go, all of these different characters. Well, okay, so in here I've got this whole list of people I can throw into just the overall campaign and then do the same thing with the yes no. Actually, I wonder if that has added. It has not, but I can add this yes no, and then once they're added, so like if I click this to a yes, I could say we're in the gutted heart section. Gutted heart's not a thing. Maybe I'll make it a thing. I'm going to leave it there. Remember, inspiration comes from everywhere. But I can put these all in here and pull from here. It's like, okay, well, I've got all of these people in Iron Bay. I need a new character. Boom. This is my character. Cool. I also have broken this out into, and actually I'm going to move this tab to the beginning. We are in Iron Bay now. The kingdom is Amaritha. And so I have a tab for Amaritha. And let's say I'm going to do Gutted Heart. So this I will rename, and this is Gutted Heart. And one thing that I love to do, consistency. And this is very, very helpful for you as a GM, because when you're playing, you want all of this to be exactly the same across sheets. You want to know that when you go, sorry, I'm also a little bit OCD. I don't want the E hanging, so there's that. Resistance. You know, what I really should do is just decide what width I want these to be, and then, anyway. And this, did it bring in data validation? It did not, but we can do that. I will do that later. So, when I pull Ulrich and say he's in Gutted Heart, I want to be able to go across these and have the same thing in the same places. I don't need for this, actually here, let's just fake one. So we're going to make this environment, skill, class, name, appearance. Cool. So these are at an 18. So we'll make these an 18. Great. And, you know, they all look in font and size the same, but they're not. When I go to overall campaign, I got different things. And now I need to rethink. There's psychological implications. It's something I would love to do my PhD in. My university wants me to do it, but whatever. It is easier for you. It is less of a mental load when you have everything the same. You know that when you click Gutted Heart, which you can't see because, oh, you can see it. Okay. So when you click Gutted Heart, it's going to look the same minus the information, and that's why you're there. So that is how a creative became a fan of Excel. So that's very helpful. And then, so going into campaigns, actually, I will point out quick notes here. Again, when I'm out, remember, where does inspiration come from? Everywhere. So my little search bar, boom, also is OneNote. And I can go into OneNote, add, and it will give me, sure, if I don't have all this sun here, a page for a screen. Sure, just screen, for adding whatever. So I can go in and put that in quick notes. Maybe I'm out and somebody's in a car accident and I see something that I'm like, ooh, if a cart broke down, it would look like this, and I can drop that in there. Then that becomes part of my resources. And as it's a resource and I use it, then I move it into my campaign. Now I'm going to show you campaign 1. This was our original campaign. And so I started with session 1, and everything that was mentioned, not everything, but things that I was like, ooh, I'm going to want to keep track of this, typity, typity, typity. And what they said. So Rhapsody is looking for her next gig. They were in a town that is called Fallow Down. And Sticky Hay was the tavern where actually they lost Bella Rose. So I kept that. And then I took that into planning for session 2. Also, we had some things I wanted to discuss. And again, this is playing under the beta. So there was a discussion of how do we want to manage GM crits? Things like massive damage. What do we want our thresholds to be? All of that fun stuff. Hildegard von Bling was somebody who was in the tavern, and I didn't really get to develop her, and I actually kind of like her. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to put her in my character list, paste her there, and make a note. because I love her name. So keep track. We may see her later. Um, but discussing things like that, let's see what else was happening. The characters who came up and what they did, this plank was buying Rhapsody a drink, and as we all know, she loves her drink. Okay, don't come at me. My favorite people call me dad. Listen, sometimes the vessel is as large as you need it to be. So there we go. Of course, this was a decision that Rashara was making, that they'd have to kill somebody. This is, again, inspiration. This was the idea of a castle that they were going to, and you'll see in the maps if you watch us, there's a scene that's inspired by this. Actually, coming into Iron Bay, this is the inspiration for that. So, all kinds of stuff in here. I have my GM notes. And again, if this looks a little bit off, that's going to be because these are beta. Yeah, see, this is from the 1.5 open beta. But I was keeping all of these things right there. And even still, like, these are very useful. Because it's beta, I was going to say what I'll do is I'll PDF and put this out for you guys, but I will not. I will encourage you to go look I'll look in the book and I'll drop the page that it's on. And I'm also going to repreface this with there has been a small update to the core rulebook, and so I have that update. My pages may be slightly over under, I'm not entirely sure. And listen, Darrington Press, like, that to me, I love that. Y'all are continuing to just keep us in the loop without making us buy a whole nother set. Like, thank you, thank you. Although I do need to get another set because I got the limited edition, collector's edition, and I won't touch it. I mean, I will, but it's precious, and I'm not gonna. So, anywho, I will find the page number and drop it in, and then you guys can have it. If I find that Darrington Press or somebody else has it out there, it is an open source game, so if I find it or if you find it, drop it in the comments. But this is, obviously very, very helpful when to activate people. This is from character creation. Yep. Look at how well I knew the beta. Character sheet, there is our Princess Rose that we're going after. In here, actually, so when I was developing the 7th session, I found some resources that I really liked. Freshcutgrass.app. Love that. If you're a GM, I would highly say use that. Maybe I'll review that in the future. But I had some resources. So I noted that so that, again, when I'm in here, I'll know that, hey, I had something I was using. What was that? That's what I used. Village of Hush was something we used, and that came from Fantasy Name Generator, medieval time places or medieval name places. So, so there are some cool resources in here. At session 9, we're supposed to be session 9, and for some reason it got tabled. Again, we're real people. We get sick. Actually, Karen has a really shakily reliable internet connection. When it rains, we don't get to play usually. This was tabled and then became session 11, so this should look, actually, so that was session 11. So 9 and then 10, we went somewhere, and then 11 ties into this. This became on the way. They did 10 and then they did this. But unfortunately, you haven't been able to watch because, things have happened and we're still figuring this out. But for campaign 1.5, the story, actually, session 2, I don't have session 1 in here. But, and I can't do this because that will help some people who shouldn't be watching. But I have our sessions in here, and just like I showed you for campaign 1, I'm keeping track of the things that I may forget, because even though I have this great tracking system, sometimes, and especially when you've got a narrative table, somebody else is going to throw a name in and you're like, oh crap, need to get that in here like yesterday. So let's see, let me make sure. Nope, can't do that. I've put my resources in here, the ones that have helped me. Okay. GM moves, those are awesome. Maybe that says what page that is. It doesn't. Okay. Well, you do what you can. There's another random character generator. Okay. Yeah, and sometimes people want to know, like, what is the difference between agility and finesse? There you go. Agility is flashy. You're doing some kind of a stunt, something. Finesse is subtle. Maybe you're trying to pickpocket somebody. So something I'm really working on is descriptions. And so granted, yes, I'm great at creating narrative, but sometimes it's the difference between agility and finesse. And so I loved this Art Deco versus Art Nouveau. I'm a fan of both. However, I really like that Art Nouveau door. Action rules. So I've just got a bunch of stuff in here that's to help me. And I know to pop into there. Now I will say, I'm going to drop this. I need to think about this. Not that I'm gatekeeping this. Matt Mercer, Abrea Iyengar, and Brennan Fraser. Listen, just because he's in my top 3, just whatever. Brennan Lee Mulligan all did a GMs of Exandria. Exandria is the world that Matt Mercer built for the first 3 campaigns of Critical Role that they did. And but Brennan Lee and Abrea were brought into games. Well, I can't even say that. Brennan Lee had part of campaign 3, and then Abrea had an off campaign that fits into it. So it's a very complex world. And the 3 of them sat down and did a GM roundtable. And it's very enlightening. Now, the reason I'm saying I need to think about this is because Critical Role has a subscription service called Beacon, and Beacon gets a lot of exclusives and things like that. And so I watched it. It was extremely educational, and I would love to share it with you, but I don't want to recommend it and then say, oh, it's readily available. It may not be in YouTube or online. Like, sometimes there's a delay, sometimes it's going to be a content exclusive. So to quote Ferris Bueller, if you have the means, I highly recommend it. I strongly recommend getting Critical Role Beacon. Brennan Lee Mulligan and Abrea Iyengar both have played with Dimension 20, which is Sam Reich's content channel. I want to say that came out of College Humor, but don't quote me on that either. There are many other TTRPG groups out there, and they're wonderful. I just came through Critical Role, and again, Karen and I have already talked about, we're going to do a discussion of Critical Role, the import of it, and just all the things. So, I think I have pretty much covered what I can cover for now. One thing that is really helpful is and I talked about this, the system reference design, SRD. That I will absolutely put the link to because it's on daggerheart.com. Um, yeah, and it's really the manual, the book, stripped down, and it's very helpful. I actually went through it today and like looking at the different parts got more inspiration to add. I've got another character I need to create. I got some ideas. um, and actually, I'm working to get the Dames at Heart website up. There's some kind of funk with the WordPress migration. I don't know. But once it's up, there's a thing about like what's the title of your campaign and the feel and the tone and so I'm going to put all of that up, and that all came from reading the SRD today. So hopefully that gets you started. If it's like anything else, you probably have more questions than you did when you started watching this, and that's fine. That's great. Because again, this is an evolving process, and I'm thrilled to help you guys learn anything. I'm happy to learn from you. And so if you have questions, comments, concerns, you know where to put them. You also can email me. I have an email now. It is gm@damesatheart.com. I probably should do DM because, so I will, little bonus content. DM, I feel like connects to the dark, scary, old thing that the stereotype of Dungeons and Dragons. And when I started coming in, GM, Game Master, was the thing. I shouldn't say the thing, but it was one of the ways. Tomato, tomato. And I like that a lot better, especially because we're playing a romantasy game, and my other game was kind of romantic. It was I won't say comedy, but it was like comedic action. Um, and so I liked GM better. We were playing a game. But now, because we are dames at heart, I am the Dame Mistress. I am I'm the female mistress of Dames at Heart. So I am now DM. But all that said, my email address is still gm@damesatheart.com. Send me something if you're like, I really am embarrassed to ask this. Don't be embarrassed, first of all, but I will give you some kind of boudoirish name and address your concern. So that's what I've got, except more planning. But if you're watching this live, or if you're watching Tuesday through Sunday somewhere, join us online tomorrow night, or look at the website and we should have our latest campaign session, all of our campaign sessions there for you to watch. We're excited to have you tune in. I mean, we're playing this for you with you. So thank you so much, and we'll see you next time. Bye, darling.